welcome to Beach Quest.
It's a brand new beach fishing series for you guys out there who love your shore angling. We're out here down in, well, West Somerset really, the North Coast. We call it the North Coast, but West Somerset. It's a lovely sunset, middle of February. What are we after, Dad?
Warmer clothing? Any fish we can get, that's what Beach Quest is all about. We're trying to find some of the good beach fishing that you guys can experience around the countryside. And we're going to give it a go down here. We've got 2 or 3 of the Somerset guys are out here with us from West Coast Tackle, Craig Butler. He's got some good bait for us. What are we going to be using? Rag? What else have we got?
Ragworm, we've got lugworm, we've got a bit of squid as well. Yeah. Bit of anything really, bit of cocktail baits going out there, I think.
This is an experimental trip. I've never fished on this particular beach before. We don't know. It's coming up to about high water in about an hour. And we've just literally been throwing the lines are out. That's why we got a chance to film. So we put the lines in the water first, and you know.
Has Craig got one on there? I think he's got a fish already.
He's got a fish on already. Nice fish, Craig.
Not bad, is he?
That's what you call a first cast.
First cast beauty,
Look
really.
at that.
Covered in grit and stone, but
yeah, it's good fish. Yeah,
well, not bad.
What did that take?
A whole squid with a lugworm wrapped around it. If I can get it out of its throat.
Man, he really wanted that, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I was talking to you, wasn't I? And it's the slack line went everywhere, like.
That was a slack line bite. That one was it?
It was, yeah. There we go. On whole unwashed Sam's squid.
So people ask us why we come down to Somerset, and that's why we come down to Somerset. Yeah. Look at that fish.
There's been huge numbers of these this year, so it just proves they're there. So
brilliant fish. Very nice.
Happy with that first cast?
Absolutely. Not surprised most of us would be.
Well, what a cracking start to Beach Quest that was. Craig got that lovely £5 cod within, I'd say, 10 minutes of his bait being in the water. Only chucking out about 80 yards, I'd say. He caught that on a whole squid on a pulley rig. An absolutely cracking fish to start the show. So myself and Dad were fishing 2 rods each today. 1 heavy rod, 1 light rod. 1 bait further out, 1 bait close in. Conditions are looking good. We're not getting rained on, which is a big thing over here in England. The wind's down. Everyone's keen. Hopefully we can get you guys some fish.
Fishing a mark just north of Watchet. This is a high water mark here, and it's pretty rough ground out there, broken ground. As you can see, there's swells coming in behind us, so just keeping an eye, I don't want to get it drowned. But there's been a lot of cod this year in the channel. It's been pretty awesome, to be fair. Probably the best year we've had for a good 12 years, and the stamp of fish has been second to none. You know, 2 to 5 pound fish off the shore, regular. Right the way through, especially since Christmas. Fishing this type of ground out there, you want to fish a pulley rig generally, just helps get the fish off the bottom and the lead away from all the snags and the reefy, rocky areas we're fishing over. Obviously with the advantage where we got here, I don't know if you can see we're fishing on a cedar fence built up to protect the land. So we've got to be a bit careful when we get down to get the fish. It's pretty dangerous, but the pulley rig helps get that up and over. Beaches the fish, really. Obviously talking about the rig there was a pulley rig, but the bait of choice for the last 4 to 6 weeks down here, especially on the shore around the Minehead and Watchet area, has been this Sam's Baits unwashed squid. Absolutely deadly. I don't know what it is about it, but it's absolutely doing the business for the codling. Just fish it whole. A good little trick as well I found is to tenderise it. Just getting a squid tube like that. Excuse me 1 minute. And getting the squid like so. I've been finding roughly where the cartilage is down the bottom, just because that's the way I've been doing it. Slice it up like so. I've been opening it up, taking the cartilage out, because that can mask the hook. Take them out, get rid of them. Anywhere, top of your seat box, on a rock. I've just literally been going with my scissors or lead weight, just bruising it. You know, it doesn't matter if you go through it, just keeping it a little bit battered really. So you've got the, what you call it, tenderising the squid, lay it on there, elastic and the head on there as well, and just literally nicking the ends of the squid and then just running up the body. Like so. And then keeping the ends tight as well, just pulling off. You could use a baiting tool, you'll get a much neater bait without a doubt, but that's just roughly done on the spot there, and that has been doing the business. Looks a bit tatty, but the fish can't see it, but they can certainly smell it. The rig we're using is a pulley rig, pretty standard rig really for the Bristol Channel. It covers so many options, but starts, got a 5.5 ounce Namex lead, a breakaway imp, about 18 inches of 60 pound amnesia for a hook length, and I've got about 12 to 14 inches of 30 pound amnesia hook length with two 3.0 mustard uptide Vikings on the end there. And the squid, which we just showed you, that'll put this onto the pennel rig. Start with the thin end of the squid, and we'll just thread it on, just like you would a worm. Just find it so much more efficient doing it this way. You can bait several baits up ready to go. Just thread it on like a worm, just manipulate it over the hooks, pull it up so he's sitting nicely like that, and then the top hook, we just literally put in the tip there, and then turn it round to nick it in, and then pull that up tight, and that will sit nicely, like so. You've got the hooks coming off at different angles. You could have one coming off that way, back to back, but it's just gone through that way, and that'll be fine. And that'll be it. On the rig body, we've got a breakaway proper pulley, which are pretty nifty little things. That just aids the pulley rig, like so. Hence the name pulley rig. And that'll be clipped down. Onto the imp, like so, ready for casting. That'll be attached to the rig, that'll be attached to the shock leader, and ready to go in a minute.
The benefit of fishing a pair of rods means that you can put baits at two different distances, because in all sea fishing you never actually know which way and what distance those fish are going to be running when they go along the beach edge. And here in the Bristol Channel, at high water like this, just touching the sea defences, is a great spot to be. You want a bait out and a bait in, trying to keep those options as open as you can. High water, evening tide is generally what brings the greatest anticipation out in all shore fishermen.
Excellent. There's a small Bristol Channel codling, caught on a black lug and squid. That one. The squid was slightly tenderised on a pulley pennel rig. There we go. Nice little bite. Thought it was going to be a little bit bigger from the bite, but beggars can't be choosers, eh?
Okay, it was a really nice codling. We had another codling, as you saw, but here's a little tip. Now, when you've got an area of strong tide, you should always have some tension in the line. If you don't have tension in the line and it's not too strong, it's worth putting a little bend in the rod under tension, because you can then see properly what they call a drop back bite. So the rod's pulling over like this, okay? And what happens with the bigger fish this is, like a codling, anything over, say, I guess about 4 or 5 pounds, he's going to come along, pick the bait up. As he goes back down tide or moves off sideways, he's going to break the grip lead out or take the pressure off the grip lead, and that's going to release tension to the rod touch. It's going to fall back like this. What you get is a loose piece of line hanging down like this. Now that, when we were up on the East Coast, we used to fish a lot up there shore fishing, we would be looking for those drop back bites all the time. We rarely saw it hammer over. We looked for bits of line that just looked like is it broken or not? Crank like crazy, get the stretch out of it, and then you get on the fish. So when you're like this, just do a turn or two. Those rod tops, if you can see up there, try and get the camera to zoom in. Don't forget it is night, but I've also painted my rod tops white for this very reason. And if I just do one turn of the handle like this, I just put a bit of tension in there. I'll do it on the right hand rod as well. It's a softer bass rod. Now you can see the tension there, and what happens is you can still see the bite on the rod top. Like this, the fish comes, you still get the bite, but if you get a slack line bite, you're going to be looking for that. You immediately look, and the right hand rod is straight, the left hand rod there, still got the bow in it. That tells you there's something wrong with the right hand rod. Away you go, get the fish in. So it's just a little tip, but with cod fishing, I think it's well worth doing.
It might be swimming in. It's still on there.
Possible fish, Paul?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's lifted out all there.
Hang on, I'll try and lift it. It's quite a good one.
Watch the wave.
You lift that.
Oh, nice one, here he comes. Well done. You stay down there, Craig, and get some more worms.
I tell these rocks are lethal down
No.
here. What up, Paul?
Yeah, another nice fish. So there you go. You've seen some really nice fish caught in just a couple of hours off the North Somerset coast. Of course, we had everything going for us. Good anglers, good bait, and of course, an evening flood tide, which is always one of the best ones you want to be fishing. Welcome to the part 2 of Beach Quest. Yes, we're back along the Somerset coastline here. We're going to be met by Craig Butler from West Coast Tackle again, and this time it's totally different. This time it's a low water mark, not a high water mark. Let's get down there. Fabulous setting, flat calm sea. It's looking good at the moment. We're waiting for the night tide, and it's going to be low water. We've got a long walk out to sea, see what we can catch down there, and Craig's going to come down and show us the rigs, the bait, and the species we might pick up. Down here on the West Somerset coastline, you get some really good, what they used to call graunchy ground. That means you can get crabs, shrimps, tiny fish in amongst these boulders and stones once they're covered with seawater, and that brings in the bigger predators. That's what we're there for, trying to catch something halfway decent. And look at the rise and fall on the tide here. It's a long walk out, but often it's worth it at low tide. Well, another thing worth taking advantage of here is a pair of Wellingtons or waders, because there's a stream that comes in by a pipe just up by the caravan here, and that stream is a bit too deep for my boots. Yes, and they're wet. Also, you might want to get out because it's broken ground here, and when it's new you don't know where that ground starts and finishes, and I can tell you that by looking at this. Somebody else has been trying to fish this at high water, I guess, or higher, and here is all their line. They have lost so much line. Am I going to be lucky and find a lead and grip on the end of this? Oh my God, I've had a result already. Let's follow it down. There we go, guys. Oh, I like it. Look, there we go. A complete pulley panel. Looks like with a I don't know, that's a lead lift the guy's made there, and a rig. And hopefully that will replace the one that Graeme Pullen is bound to lose at some time during the night. I'm bound to. The thing is, do I go back and get my waders all that way? I mean, just look at all the lugworm casts here. There are, well, not thousands, there must be tens of thousands. Just in a shining, burnished, silvery mud all that lovely bait there. No wonder the fish come in.
I'm fishing a mark just above Watch It here, in Doniford Bay, well Helwell Bay to be precise. The mark is obviously, you can see it's ledges, weedy, slippery, nasty weedy ledges, given away to clean mud out here. Just fishing for the thornbacks and the codlin and maybe a bass. So yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Bait and rigs?
I've just used a standard pulley rig really, about 18-inch hook lengths, sort of 20-inch bodies, and just sort of 2 to 3.0 sort of Sakuma Manta pennel rigs. Whole squid, crab, lug, rag, a bit of everything really.
Target species, Craig?
Thornback ray.
Yeah. Anything else going to come through and likely pick up?
Codlin. It's been absolutely on fire, this mark, for codlin this winter. It's been really, hard, not really fished that much to be fair, but when it has been fished, it's chucked up some huge catches. But it's always good for a thornback or two. So, especially on these neap tides, they come in to settle on the mud and just sort of hang in there really. And as it's been calm for the last sort of 36 hours over the neap tides, hopefully they've settled in there. So, fingers crossed.
And it's one of those marks at low water you've got to watch you don't get cut off then. So what times?
It is a bit. You find it hard to get cut off here. You'd have to be really stupid to get cut off here, but it is possible. You just got to keep going back with the tide. There's nothing really going to creep behind you without you noticing here, so it's not too bad really on safety mark. What is dangerous though, it's like an ice rink. It's, if you can see, it is, even with studded wellies on, it's like skating on ice.
You can see on the very low tide these sort of rear cut off edges of all the ledges that are there, and they're covered in that green weed. Now watch out guys, because that green covered weed and with the kelp and all the bladderwrack all over is slippery, so be careful where you put your feet. I'm using fixed ball reels, so I don't want any trouble for any multipliers. I want to be able to get out, get the bait in the water as fast as I can, because the tide does come in very quickly here. When it does come in, you need to be able to get your baits in and reel up, move your gear back, walk back with the tide. And of course, once that light level starts to drop a little bit, your chances of a fish bite are increasing literally by the minute. It's low water fishing at its best.
I thought it was a bass for a minute. Yeah, definitely sure. Yeah, what did he take that one?
And remember, conger eels grow down here to possibly 30 pounds. Now that would be a big one off the shore, but there's every chance if you use fish baits like mackerel especially, of getting conger like this or even bigger in the 10 to 15 pound range.
We were watching you play it. We didn't want to make a decision to come until we saw the white of the fish, and I said I thought it was a bass because I see the white of the belly. Set me off out. Yeah. Oh God. He's going the wrong way. You must be using some bait he wants to come back up on the shore for it. And away he goes. It's got a small whiting, only a sort of small offering, but after seeing that conger out there, this is probably why they're coming in to feed on these whiting. That's what they're taking, do you? Those? I would have thought so, yeah. Those conger come in to feed on the pouting and the whiting in here. So, it's only a little whiting, but beats the blank. It's a bit slow at the moment, but we'll stick them in there, keep them in the pool to recover. Be quite happy in there. Let him recover before we put him back. There's no doubt those congers are coming in to feed on them tonight.
Next up in the predator chain was a dogfish, which to a lot of guys abroad probably looks like a shark, but they have tiny little pin teeth. They're not going to hurt you, but they are voracious feeders. At least they give you something to catch, often maligned, but they can absolutely save a day on the shore, even from a boat.
Just had a slight move just to Graham's right. Just had a sort of thought that the fish might be moving up on the edge of the stone, so just went in there, first cast on a peeler, bang, straight away. But you know, bit of a result. It's been a bit of a hard night tonight, so
Fish is a fish, isn't it?
fish is a fish. So
Beach quest is beach quest. You got cod quest.
epic fail on the thornback.
Yeah.
But we got a codlin as a consolation, so
Absolutely.
can't knock it really. So
No, nice fish.
yeah. Anyway, we're putting back anyway because you know, lovely fish, and there's no point keeping that one anyway. So there's only lip ups, so it's getting back.
He's got a chance to go back.
Yeah, and come back next year and we're catching 5 pounds.
Well, hard to believe it, guys, but we're just packing up. After Craig had that codling, I've wound in, I've got a small dogfish. At least I haven't blanked. It just goes to show you, on Beach Quest, anything can happen, anytime. Even for me. Not a big fish, but he's taken the squid, and he's saved me a blank. Just nicked, actually, on the outside. Here we go, the shark of the Bristol Channel. So until next time, thanks for watching the Totally Awesome Fishing Show on a very cold and getting breezy night. And watch out for the next episode of Beach Quest.